Is there a most impressive of this young quarterback class 1 week of the preseason in the bank?
Most impressive?
Yep.
I would say Baker Mayfield. For me, I think when I look at Baker Mayfield, he's in the best situation. He has the best talent around him, receivers, offensive line, group of running backs, and a quarterback that he's probably going to sit behind who knows for how long. I look at Josh Rosen and his situation being behind Sam Bradford. He's going to play. They have poor offensive line play. And I don't like to speak someone getting hurt. I don't want to see Sam Bradford getting hurt.
Listen, I actually like Sam Bradford. People hold it against him, and he got $50 million guaranteed out of college. Like, look, dude, that was just the game at the time. That's not his fault, right? But it's not a question of if, it's a question of when really Sam Bradford is too banged up to play, correct?
He's fragile. He's not mobile. So if you have poor offensive line play, you have a quarterback who's not mobile, who has a history of being injured, the likelihood of Josh Rosen playing, very high.
Right.
I do, however, I don't like.
Now, he's got better skill position guys around him than the Browns do, dude. He's got David Johnson. He's got Larry Fitzgerald.
So that's two.
Right.
That's two. I'm saying complete. Baker Mayfield has a better situation. Josh Rosen has Larry Fitzgerald, who's obviously first ballot Hall of Famer, and then you have the best running back out of all the young quarterbacks that you could possibly have in a David Johnson. But how effective will their running game be?
Sure. Because
their offensive line their play is poor. So, I mean, yeah, you have a safety net there. Sam Bradford, I'm sorry, Sam Darnold.
Yep.
I feel for the guy because I don't know anyone on the Jets roster. I mean, in the position I'm in, I should know someone. You're
probably going to be doing a Jets game later this year for Fox, too, guys. I know you're doing games this year. But I got to bone up a little bit.
I should kind of know that. And I think that his situation, him being behind Josh McCown, he's going to eventually play, I believe, as well. I just think that Baker Mayfield is in the best situation. He showed us a little bit, and he was already in an exciting situation, but he has nothing to his threshold, his floor is in the basement. Like, they won 0 games.
Right.
So Baker Mayfield, whatever he does is a success.
I saw this online today. We're getting ready. We're in our meeting. And Ryan Music, who's my producer on the Doug Gottlieb Show, which follows the show on Fox Sports Radio, 12 to 3 Pacific, 3 to 6 Eastern Time, he pointed out to me, he's like, hey, have you seen this line that Vegas now ranks the Packers, one of your former teams, the Packers, as the favorite to land Khalil Mack before the season is up? And I was like, wow. And it's one of those things to which, we double-checked it, we triple-checked it, and it is, in fact. So how does this work that we went from John Gruden not having conversation with Khalil Mack not playing the first preseason game, to Vegas believing there's a better chance that he plays for the Packers this year than he plays for the Raiders?
Well, when I first heard it, I was kind of like you, like, what? But then the more I sit back and I analyze everything, you got Reggie McKenzie, who was
former Packer guy
at the general manager position out in Oakland. If they can't get something done, you're looking at a Green Bay Packer team that obviously needs a pass rusher. I mean, they use Clay Matthews everywhere. Nick Perry is he's healthy one minute, he injured the next. They need a pass rusher that can put pressure on the quarterback every single down. And Khalil Mack, obviously, he gives you that. The likelihood of it happening, I don't know that, but I could see where the talk has kind of been created because of the relationships there and the inquiring of, hey, what's going on with Khalil Mack, from the Packers front office to the Oakland Raiders front office, because they do have relations. Jordy just went from the Green Bay Packers to the Oakland Raiders. So, general managers, they talk. especially when they come from a winning organization or a familiar place that has had success. And we pretty much like to draft similar guys.
Right.
I could see that being why they would be tops the list. But Khalil, you can't get rid of Khalil Mack.
What team will Khalil Mack be on at the end of October? This is from OddsShark. Packers at plus 300, Raiders at plus 400, and the Jets, of course, have a ton of cap space at plus 700, Bills at plus 700, so are the Redskins as well. Let me ask you about the helmet rule, the new helmet rule. Again, we're only 1 week in all these preseason games with plus the Hall of Fame game. What's your reaction to how it's being used?
I get what the league is trying to do. I don't per se care for the new helmet rule. And again, I understand the safety reasons why. But when I look at a guy leading with the helmet, you tell me a guy that can make a tackle and throw their shoulder and their head doesn't go with it. Like, it's going to happen. And when we were at the seminar for Fox, we had the refs come in and they were telling us about this new rule and how it was going to impact and affect the game. And I just don't see it being clear across the board, called consistently. I think that is where the problem will arise, because you're talking about they're going to call, or they're supposed to call, any contact with the crown of the head on whether you're an offensive guy or a defensive guy. That is now a penalty.
Okay, but listen, I could play this.
Offensive linemen, they cut block. You got running backs who cut block.
I understand that right now it's like when they took hand checking out of the NBA. Early on, it was a complete disaster. Everybody complained about it. And then slowly but surely, they figured it out. They don't want another Ryan Shazier. That's what we don't want. We don't want one of our star players being carted off the field and now walking on crutches, not being able to walk or run fluidly. We don't want that. So I understand that right now it's a shock to the system, that it's going to screw up a drive, it's going to screw up a game. Hell, it may screw up the season. But the risk in staying with the status quo is the status quo. And Ryan Shazier was basically paralyzed, and he's recovering from it based on lowering his helmet and hitting the crown, using the crown of his helmet to make a tackle last year on a Thursday night. And I think that's what the league is reacting, maybe overreacting to, but it's a good thing to overreact to.
Yeah, I mean, I would never say that they're overreacting because it's a safety issue. And we've seen it doesn't matter any rule that's been put into place when it's regarding safety. It has never been rescinded. You've never gone back and said, okay, we're going to put a seatbelt in the car, and now that the cars are made better and more,
we're going to take the seatbelt thing out.
We're going to take that. Just doesn't happen.
Yes, but the point is, when the seatbelt law first came into existence, there are people like, well, what happens when you're submerged? When you like, okay, well, if you go off a bridge and you don't have a seatbelt on, you're not going to be in the car to be submerged. So, I agree with you that they're never going to take it away, but I do think they're going to adjust some of how they look at this rule. It's going to be fascinating to see.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.